everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. In today's matchup, we have a dangerous team. The Redskins are top 10 in turnover differential, and they'll be up against the Cowboys team looking to avoid a costly mistake. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join our commentators, Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome as we come to you from FedEx Field here in Landover. Just as we were getting ready for air, both teams coming out of their locker rooms, out of the tunnel, and this crowd is pumped up as their Redskins get set to match up with the Dallas Cowboys. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Guyton. Charles, we look at this Redskin team as they enter play here. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Kirk Cousins brings out the Washington Redskins, and this last week was playing against his old mentor, Kyle Shanahan. Threw for 2 touchdowns, ran for another, as the Redskins held on after nearly coughing up a 17-point lead.
And how many games have we done when we've talked to players who have something like that in the game where they're going against an old coach or a guy that they played against in college? They all say, oh, that doesn't matter. I just worry about my own performance. We don't believe that for a second, do we?
No, because you know it sticks with him.
Exactly. He had something to prove and wanted to show his old mentor that he still has it, and that he did.
He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. No gain, and it's second down. We're going to look at the offense now for Washington, coming off a 26-24 win last week against San Francisco. And what have you thought of this offense? What have you seen from it?
Well, we know Cousins triggers everything. But in order to have open lanes to throw, they want to run the football. Rob Kelly's out, so they're using Chris Thompson and Samaje Perine, the rookie out of Oklahoma. Now, in the game against San Francisco, the numbers weren't terrific. 29 carries for those guys if you took Cousins out of the mix for 68 yards. But 29 carries, that's enough to keep a defense's attention and allow Kirk Cousins to throw the ball downfield.
Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. It's brought in by Jamison Crowder. A big hit. Knocked down sideways. Right there around the 35-yard line.
Brandon, that's a tough guy right there. He knew that was going to happen. In other words, he'll have to absorb that hit. How about him securing the football, turning the legs a little bit, and gaining what he needed for a first down?
Well, that's the deal. On 3rd down, these guys, they know where the sticks are. He obviously knew right there.
And if you want to be a dependable 3rd down receiver, you've got to be willing to absorb those types of hits and make those sort of plays.
And the D looking like they may blitz. Here's Cousins. The ball comes out. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Well, we got a second here before this next drive starts. It seems like every week we're talking injuries, and we had 3 quarterback shoulder injuries from this last week.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate because we're talking about some of the most recognizable players in the league. Jameis Winston really coming on as a young quarterback. Trevor Siemian, captain of the Denver Broncos, and won the job for a second year in a row. And, of course, Aaron Rodgers, maybe the best quarterback in the league. You know, Rodgers probably gone for the season. Winston, I think they could have brought him back, but they were cautious with him and kept him out of the game. And Siemian did play in the second half in their loss to the Giants.
Yeah, that's the good news. 2 of the 3 able to return. Unfortunately for Rodgers, not looking so good. Elliott, and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. The numbers for Zeke from last week. Very productive. 3 touchdowns, 2 of them on the ground, 1 through the air.
And it will always be a compliment to say that a guy's got a nose for the end zone, and he sure had it last week. A nice performance last week. Recognized as NFC Player of the Week after going over 100 yards rushing. I just love the vision. I love the wiggle he has, but I also love the power when he ends his runs.
That's what impressed me. Yes, there was some elusiveness last week. A couple times he just ran over guys. Prescott now on second down. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by the safety, D'Angelo Hall. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Man, I'm not going to tell him that you called him old in our pregame meeting, but this guy has been around a long time. If there's a trick in the book, he knows it. He probably even wrote a few chapters. And this is what he's always had. And that's a nose for the football. He's able to come away here with the interception.
Before this next offensive drive gets going, you know, we still have 2 0-6 teams in the NFL, the 49ers and the Browns, and you're looking at me because I know you made a prediction that one of these 2 teams would win this past week.
Yeah, we had the Giants in there going into it as well, right? We had the Giants, 49ers, and Browns, and I predicted that the Browns would be the first to get off the schneid. Instead, it was the Giants. So the Browns looking at me a little crooked eye, aren't they? Like, hey, just leave us alone and let us play. Don't make any more predictions, man.
Well, the drive starts with Rob Kelly. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
He was locked in. 2 trips to the end zone, Charles, over 100 yards receiving.
How about the combination of route running, confidence going downfield, and the ability to go up and get the football? You're exactly right. It was hard for them to stop him.
A give outside, Kelly. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
Not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss. Offense needs something here on second down. It is second and long. They'll keep it in the hands of Kelly. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Only a yard on the gain there, and that'll set up 3rd and 13. And now the defense for Dallas.
I think most people locked in on Byron Jones when he came out of UConn at the NFL Combine, where he darn near jumped out of the stadium because of his vertical leap. But there's so much more to his game than that. Played cornerback and safety in college, and they can use that same ability to move him around in the NFL in order to create great matchups on defense for Dallas.
And on 3rd down, the Cowboys bring in an extra defensive back. Cousins to throw it. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Well, the screen gets 7, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second, it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a 1st down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
Now the 4th-year man from Oklahoma, Tress Way, on to punt, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Yeah, last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
How about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
They start on the ground with Elliott. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
Doesn't matter who you're rooting for in this game. The effort of the man with the football, getting away from one and trying to turn forward and get some yardage. I really liked what he did there.
They go to Elliott again. And some room to maneuver. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
A 1st down carry by Elliott. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again, go play action, hit them over the top.
They'll try to throw now. Prescott. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman. And he's able to bring it up 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
On the NFL scoreboard, an update from up in Seattle. And the early going, it's the Texans out in front. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. They'll start on the ground with Kelly. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And before they can get settled in here, time expires on the first quarter of action. 0-0 our score. We'll head back to FedEx Field after this timeout.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Redskin football to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out. And the defense definitely showing blitz here. They'll go again with Kelly. And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Cousins now from the 50. And the Cowboys his pressure gets there this time for the sack. Anthony Hitchens in there to drop him for a loss of 10, and it'll be 4th and long.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. And let's gaze our attention on Ezekiel Elliott. Those are his numbers through roughly the first half of the season, and given that, you'd have to think he's on pace for a 1,000-yard campaign.
Steady as he goes, steady goes the offense. But you know what else is happening, too, because they are a team now recognized with the ability to run the football. You've got to be able to throw it better now, right? Better throwing lanes, better opportunities for the guys downfield, maybe more one-on-one coverage, which you should be able to beat easier. Yeah, he's establishing not just a tone, but an identity for his team.
And that's a discussion we had a couple days ago in the team meetings, talking about this running game, opening up the passing game. We'll see if that continues to happen. Charles, that'll give us an opportunity to survey the league-wide landscape. I was talking about, oh, well, there's maybe some parity reigning supreme. I think there really is. Gosh, you had the Giants with a shocking win, Falcons with a shocking loss. You just never know what's going to happen in this league.
How about the Chargers beating the Raiders? That's another one that's a little bit of a shocker. And then finally, the last undefeated team, Kansas City, losing at home to Pittsburgh, which made the 1972 Dolphins very, very happy people. And think of it this way. Starting their run, right, that 72 Dolphins team, when they had those championships, they beat Kansas City in a big-time playoff game, one of the most memorable games in NFL history in overtime. And then they beat Pittsburgh in an AFC championship game on their way to the undefeated season.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, there's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Zach Brown. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation. But sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Reminder, a couple of good games still to come. Later tonight, it's the Steelers on the road in Detroit taking on the Lions. Then Monday night, the costumes will be in full force. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Tyrone Crawford in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. 9 yards on the gain there, and it's going to bring up a tough 3rd and 7. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
On 3rd down, Cousins. And that is incomplete.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give him some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football.
Those really long field goals, when they are made, they are things of beauty. But there is a danger to getting them started, isn't there?
Yeah, with that low drive, you've got to really keep it low to the ground, don't you, to get that distance.
Yeah, hard to just pop it up in the air because otherwise it's not going to get there. So he's got to drive it low in order to have the distance, and that usually puts it in jeopardy, gives him a chance to block it, and everyone knows it on the other side. That's when you get your best jumpers on the other side of the field and try and get up and get it.
They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. 2 minutes remain in a scoreless first half. Back to FedEx Field following this short break. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll have Larry Ridley's highlights, but points obviously hard to come by in this first half. Larry will be in Orlando with our halftime report in about 2 minutes' time.
Yeah, he and his staff, they're putting together nothing but defensive highlights from the first half, and there's nothing wrong with that as far as I'm concerned.
Shout me out.
On 2nd down, Elliott. And shedding the tackle, and now some room. Pass, Ezekiel Elliott gonna take it the distance. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Cowboys are in for 6. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Dan Bailey now for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-0 Cowboys. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And the long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. Bailey now to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Cousins on 1st down. Pryor has it complete. And he's brought down after a good gain. And a nice gain of 21 yards. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. A 1st down throw for Cousins. Caught on the right side, Reed. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Cousins now on second down. Quick throw that's complete on the inside slant. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Cousins now to throw on first down. And he finds the tight end, Reed. And he gets it down to the 32. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock. So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. To the air again, it's Cousins. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. The offense on third down tonight, they've only converted once in 4 tries. They're looking at third and a few inches. They'll throw again. Cousins. Throw left side complete. It's Kelly. And I think we've got a hold here. It's a 5-yard pickup for the moment. Let's see what our referee says.
Offense.
So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
On play action, Cousins. Rush coming, and he's taken down. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Washington. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. He's in a zone, second quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little.
And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. On second down, Prescott again. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
He's got his man. It's Williams. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Now the offense lining up first and 10. Prescott yet again. And he hits Jason Witten, the tight end. And he's brought down. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Fresh set of downs here. To the air again, Prescott. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their fourth pick of the game. Instead, second down.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown, and frankly, that should have been another pick right there. And this one is right down Broadway. And the lead moves to 10-zip. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense, and over the post.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game as we'll send you down the coast to Orlando where we check in with our friend Larry Ridley and the EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Redskins haven't played their best football and trail because of it. The Cowboys have looked good on the road and will just try to keep the ball rolling in the second half. All right, let's do this. Here's the first half highlights. With the ball midway through the second. Elliott's going to dart up the middle, and he'll win the sprint to the end zone. The Cowboys strike first in this one. Now to late in the second. Defense will get to the QB here. This ends up as a huge loss in yardage. So that'll do it from here in Orlando. Let's get back up to our nation's capital as we rejoin Brandon Guy.
So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Dak and the Cowboy offense heading back onto the field. And it was somewhat of a strange first half. He threw 3 interceptions, yet you look at the scoreboard, they've got the lead.
So you know what I think he did at the half? He stood up in front of the team, especially in front of the defense, and said, thank you. Appreciate what you've done. You guys have picked me up in a big way. And guess what? I'm going to get back to being who I am, which is pretty darn good. Let's go play the second half.
They go play action here on first down. Going deep here for Bryant. He's got a man complete. It's a big play for the Cowboys on third. And even 40 yards. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
They give to Elliott. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
A second down throw for Prescott. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Prescott finding his big receiver Bryant there for a Cowboy first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. They had a chance there to finish things off, didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
In motion here is Witten. 10th carry now for Elliott. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
Here's Prescott. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax,
Base res open.
What is working and call more of that.
And fans, a quick reminder from the NFL after nearly a decade of working together in the fight against breast cancer. This year, the NFL and the American Cancer Society, they're broadening the scope of their efforts to tackle multiple types of cancer. And you can learn more about the expanded Crucial Catch initiative and access the Defender, a new digital tool that provides personalized tips on reducing your cancer risk at NFL.com/Crucial Catch.
And I applaud the NFL for broadening its scope here because cancer affects us all in many different ways, and now everyone will have the ones that they can focus on and be able to support.
The Redskins on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Off the play fake, Cousins. And he will go down, a Cowboy sack. Here's Tressway now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Fielded at about the 28. A big boot that time, 57 yards the official distance. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And let's gaze our attention on Ezekiel Elliott. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone. And now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage. And, again, that second score here in the 3rd quarter. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Now Prescott, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Goodness, another Angelo hole. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
No gain on the play there. It'll be second down. Now, they couldn't get anything going there out on the right side in the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
Now a second down throw for Cousins. This one caught by Crowder. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him? Either fellow receivers or offensive linemen. That makes that play a really nice timing play. And sometimes it can break big.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Second down and 4. To throw, Cousins. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off, Byron Jones. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They're excited about where they are in this game.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. On the counter, Elliott. And he'll stretch out only about a yard up to the 32.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
6 yards on the pickup, and that'll lead here to a third down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Looking downfield for Dez. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a fourth down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, he'll force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on to kick it away. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return. And the Washington offense will be backed up to start this drive as they've got it 1st and 10. The Redskins offense now, they head back onto the field. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. David Irving continuing to fight downfield. The big tackle gets him for a loss of 11.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
There as he gets it up to about the 5-yard line. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on 2nd down. On 3rd down. It's Thompson, and he'll go down for a loss inside his own 5 at the 4. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off Byron Jones. Scoring has really been at a premium. And, Charles, you got to tip your cap to this defense coming in here. Their offense, too, but this whole team coming in here on the road, getting a hard-fought win.
I think the way that they're finishing this one up, an exclamation point on a terrific game. As you noted, hard for them to put points on the board, and they hold them down one more time and finalize things.
And out now come the Cowboys. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And a great spot to start this drive from here. The give is to Elliott. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Prescott now on 2nd down. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Now Elliott. The broken tackle could not free him as he's brought down at the 10-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Again, it's Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. The Cowboys on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Now Prescott. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's 4th down.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
Yeah, and on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. So they settle for just the 3 there, but clearly anything helps when you're trying to salt one away here in the 4th.
Without a doubt, I think a touchdown would have been the final nail. But 3 does give them some breathing room and lets them build up a little cushion.
Now after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Our eyes shift to the defense of the Cowboys now. And the interception the last time, their 3rd takeaway of the game, Charles.
They're just flocking to the football so well. And not only are they doing that, they're making big-time plays and taking it away from them. Big hits, big plays. They're looking very good in this ball game.
You said flocking, flying to the football. Coaches always use that, don't they?
They really do. It's almost it goes back to the old, when they click off the frame at the end of a play, they want to see all 11 defensive guys in that picture.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He'll be tackled shy of the 35. Shifty footwork gets him a little extra on the play. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. He'll leave it for Kelly, complete. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. 1st down, here's Cousins. And that is incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Josh Doxson, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. The Redskins on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Cousins now. And this will be a dump off for Kelly. And he is knocked down from the side. They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Cousins. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Call it a pickup of 7, and it's a 2nd down. And the spike comes now with just under 40 ticks left. Seventh play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Cousins again. Open man, it's Vernon Davis. Cousins to his tight end Davis. Good for a Washington first. First down now, but the clock continues to move. And now down to 24 seconds after the spike. Cousins now on second down. On the catch, it's Crowder. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. And the seemingly endless drive continues. From the red zone now, Cousins. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Down to 7 seconds now, 6. So Charles are able to complete what so often seems to be elusive, a shutout in the NFL. And maybe what's fitting is they ended the game on the field, that defensive unit on the field. What an exclamation mark.
And probably felt like they could go another 60 minutes without anyone putting points on the board against them. That's the confidence you gain throughout when you're pitching a shutout. And they're going to leave the stadium feeling like they're all 10 feet tall.
So for Dallas, they move back over 500 now at 4-3. And they'll return home next week to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, for the Redskins, they fall a game under the 500 mark at 3-4 through 7 games. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Seahawks in Seattle. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we sign off from Landover.